Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name is Josh, and I have someone super special here. You guys have been waiting for this moment. It is Sloan. Sloan, thank you for joining me. Like, I'm so pumped that you're here right now.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know that it's so funny because I see our channels and some people are like, don't collaborate with that YouTuber. I don't really subscribe to YouTube drama. I try not to anyway, like to be a part of it. And so when I did a collab with BX Boy, like he likes you too. I just feel like we need to become a community. Not everybody's invited to the community, by the way, but like a community of like uplifting. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be a bunch of cool people. You have a really great reputation on YouTube as it is right now, and people really love your passion. They love the things that you talk about. They love the way you talk about things, and I do too. I watch a lot of your videos, and I thought when I first started this a couple months ago, yours popped up in my feed. Another person popped up. I'm not going to say who they are, and BX Beast Boy. So it kind of all started rising together, and then we're seeing the cream rise to the top, I think, and I think you're part of that. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, too, with YouTube, there are so many people that have been on here for so long, and we kind of need to let some people retire and allow new people to rise up because it's getting kind of sour at the top, and I feel like we need some refreshing people to get on this platform and clean it up.
Hey, that's a really great outline of that because, Sloan, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm under 30 and I'm over 21. I'm allowed to drink. So, like the sweet spot. I'm at the sweet spot right now.
I like it. I want to go back to what you said, like about the retirement age of some of these YouTubers and this new era of YouTube. Now, I haven't been on YouTube I've been on YouTube my whole life. I was in a band. I had to use YouTube way back in the day. I've never been at this level ever. And this was accidental. And I've told my story to a lot of people, but what is it about? Where do you see YouTube, or where should it be going for the next level of YouTubers? Like, what would you like to see as someone who's kind of younger and have kind of grown up on the platform?
So I think the future of YouTube should be a little bit more controlled in the sense that these people who are making millions and millions of dollars on YouTube on this platform are literally doing wrong things, aka crimes, and breaking rules. And I feel like there's just some lack of control that YouTube has on their creators and on their platform, and I feel like they can improve when it comes to that. And I also think when it comes to employment, there's a lot of people who are employed by YouTube full-time and they don't get health care, they don't get any type of protection. So I think YouTube is a job, it should be treated like a job, and if these employees are breaking rules or crimes, they should be held accountable. Hey,
you've brought up a good subject, and I think a lot of people don't realize that, right? So and my take on this is that YouTube makes money off you, off me, off PewDiePie, off everybody else who makes them money. They actually make more money off us than we make off them. It is a rising tide lifts all ships type of situation, right? And I talked to BX Beast about this as well, about how it seems sometimes there's like this competition. And there really shouldn't be a competition. Like, there's enough to go around for everybody to talk about commentary, tea, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to discuss. It should be a people should be collaborating. We are creators, right? And I'm an artist at heart. I love to draw. I love to play music. And you're a creator yourself, and that's why I like supporting creators. And that's why I'm always telling people, if you've got questions about how to become a YouTuber, I'll give you any advice that I have that will be helpful to you. And like, let's do this because I want to help other people. But you're right. Something's happening here specifically. And I think this is where we kind of connected big time, is family vloggers. So your take on Myka Stauffer is very similar to my take. I get a little bit more. No, I think we're equally passionate about the lowdown dirtiness that is Myka Stauffer and James Stauffer. Give me your take on them so far and what has lit that passion.
Well, when I first saw this story on Twitter, a lot of the times I don't know who these people are when I first hear about a story, but I saw the headline about, an adopted child being given up, and I was already just like shocked that they would try to glamorize it. Like, them putting that video out was a glamorization of them giving up their child. That monetized video they released, trying to get sympathy for what they did. So I just feel like they are low down, dirty. I feel like they are the definition of white privilege and the white savior complex. So it's just bothering to me that like YouTube celebrates these type of people. These people are getting paid on YouTube and they are partners of YouTube. They are being represented. They are being advertised online. And I just feel like they shouldn't be celebrated. They shouldn't be rewarded. We need to stop making stupid people famous.
I love it. And so and you're exactly right. And I think bring me back to the moment, because this is what happened with me. I want to tell you my story, and then I want to hear yours. When I read that, I'm not sure where I heard it first. Could have been Facebook. I think it was Twitter, where like someone says, check this out, this video. And I'm not in YouTube culture world. I'm not. Okay, I have 4 kids, 3 cats and a dog. I have a job. I'm always busy. And it just across my plate, because I'm an adopted father, right? Both my older boys are adopted. It hits really close to home. Adoption is, my friends have adopted from overseas. I have tons of people in my life that my mom was adopted. Adoption hits home for me. So for me, I was like, what? Let me dig into this, because hell no. That's why. And then I started talking about it and then I started digging into it. And no matter what I reveal, like you dropped that makeup video, and thank you for doing that. And then I'm I'm covering that makeup video you did a great job, and I'm laughing. I love your expressions and everything else. And I'm like, I have to cover this because there's a psychological aspect here that we're all not talking about. Or we're sort of trying to bring it up, is that the narcissism is palatable, right? So there's so much narcissism in this family that it's all about making money on YouTube. They've got this YouTube life, this YouTube money that is actually, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's awesome. Okay, so you have to film your whole life. You got to put it on TV, whatever. I get it. And you have to edit. It's time consuming, but you're making huge amounts of money doing this. And YouTube has basically got their hand in it as well, because they're making huge amounts of money as well as you are. And if they're allowing this type of behavior to continue, then that is going to encourage other families, because remember, they're influencers for good or for bad. And now other families are like, well, their ship was rising. They're buying a $600,000-$700,000 house. They have two Range Rovers and a BMW. They have all this. I want that, so I'm going to do this too. This is why it's the definition of an influencer is to influence people to do what you do. That's why they get money for paid advertising and all that stuff. But I say that because I'm so passionate about it still, and I will not let it go. But bring me back to the moment where you first did that video, and what happened when you dug in, when you started digging deeper.
Well, I have to admit, I was so upset when I first heard the story that I kind of ran with it. If you watch my first video on the situation, I call her Myka the entire video, which is so cringe. And like that's something with me too. Like I'm not a professional investigator. I don't know how to, properly research. A lot of times I mess up people's names, and what drives my whole YouTube passion and to cover these stories it's pretty much my anger with what's going on in the situation. And when I first heard that story, I pretty much went on camera right after, because at that point it was earlier on and there wasn't a ton of videos or a lot of people talking about it. I just saw it on Twitter and someone tagged me in it, and that's a lot of the times like how I find my video content. Someone will tag me or send it to me. So I made that first video and I realized it was popping off because the story was going mainstream. And ever since then, I've just been learning more and following. And I feel like I've learned a lot about this family, but you can never really be surprised with Myka's old videos. Like, there are so many horrible ones.
Imagine the ones we aren't seeing. Imagine the ones we still have yet to see. Like, it just keeps getting weirder and crazier, and like, I don't think we've seen the end of the craziness of Myka Stauffer. I think we're gonna see. Here's my gut on this. We're gonna see a blow up. Something big is gonna happen. They're either gonna try to come back and it's gonna just explode as big. Because if they come back, I know you, I know me, BX. We're all gonna be on that video, and we're all gonna be like, you are not allowed to do this. And so what I'm seeing here, and why I'm connecting with you very much, is because I think you are, like me, a huge hater of injustice. You hate when injustice doesn't happen, or when justice doesn't get fed to the people that deserve justice.
Or we love to hold people accountable. I think holding people accountable is very important, especially when they are a public figure. We need to hold them accountable.
Yeah, and if you're going to put your entire life out there, and we do this too, when we get hate, we get people throwing shade, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're going to put your entire life out there and make copious amounts of money on it, you can't expect people to just be like, oh, okay, well, you can have this part. Right? Go ahead and do you can keep that dirty part quiet, but no. This is blown up, and I think this has forever shifted the face of family vlogging from this point forward, and that's why I'm here. I want to change it to protect the kids, and the way to do that is to bring light to it, humor, parody, and to literally talk to people about how we can actually change this. Because I'm not saying that every family vlogger is wrong. I don't think that, and I will continue to say that. Some do it right, some have great advice, some are cool about it, but I just want to make sure that the kids are protected. And kids, and I think you've said this too before, kids can truly not have consent until they're old enough. Like, I think that my 7-year-old girl, if I truly asked her and sat her down and explained to her, she could consent. But there are kids who are babies being born on YouTube, that their whole life is out there. My kids are on YouTube being born. So, but it's just a matter of like, their entire life is on YouTube. Like 8 Passengers. Talk to me about 8 Passengers. What do you think about them?
I legally can't.
Oh, okay.
That's okay, though.
Enough said.
Like, everyone knows I can't.
Okay.
But yeah. And honestly, I'm surprised. Like, when you talk about Myka and James coming back, I don't see them coming back unless they send me a letter that shuts me up. But other than that, I just can't imagine them coming back. And I'm surprised they haven't come for us sooner. But like, I wouldn't sleep on them. I think that they are very capable of trying to take down everything that has been said about them to recreate their brand. But again, that's what's wrong with this world, that YouTube is paying these people to be rewarded for bad behavior.
Well, let's go back to YouTube, because you've been on here a little bit. How long have you been a YouTuber? Like going?
Well, so commentary is so different to me than just being on YouTube. I was making videos in 7th grade and posting them on YouTube.
Wow.
Like literally dancing to Hot and Cold by Katy Perry way back then. So I like made videos for a very long time.
Okay.
And I have 2 channels. One has like over 50K and the other one has like 16K, I believe. I did the most weird things on YouTube.
Okay.
Literally, you can go find those videos still. They have 20 views. But then one day I made a video about this artist named Lillian Marie Johnson. She's used to be on Kids React, if you ever heard of that.
Yep.
Awesomeness TV, yeah. And she was just going through a rough time, and I was genuinely worried about her. And I never like sat down in a video and just like talked about someone or something, or even like just got passionate in a video. And I made that video and it kind of like popped off compared to my other ones. And I was still really worried about Leah. I was finding out new things every like few days, and I just kept covering her story. And that kind of developed my commentary like career in a way, because I started to, learn to sit down and speak to the camera. And, I learned very quickly what I can say and what I can't say. And I'm a very blunt person, and sometimes people will call me harsh in my real life. But when it comes to YouTube, I've learned a lot when it comes to being, unbiased, and also being sensitive and being empathetic to people and what they're going through. Yeah.
So that's great. And the reason I ask is you know a lot more than me. And that's so when I'm asking about these types of situations, I know you can't talk about 8 Passengers legally, but why is it that we can't use, if YouTube has fair use policies, how are creators and content creators still allowed to copyright strike us when we're using the YouTube's fair use policies? If you're allowed to, I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about that.
That's fine. YouTube just doesn't really follow any of their own guidelines or policies. Like when it comes to that family specifically, if you read the letter, which you legally can't, but I looked at the letter before with other people, and it's a bunch of BS. It's just a lot of money in one piece of paper to shut me up and to save their reputation. It's something I feel like a lot of family channels will end up doing. Like I've been kind of talking about the Ace family, and I've been planning a pretty big video on them, because a lot of the times I'm not like uncovering something new. Like recently I talked about the LeBrant family, and everything I talked about has been out there. I just put it into one video and like collectively added it together. So I don't really understand why they come for me. This stuff is already out here, but I do feel like more and more families are going to start, I don't know. I mean, it's been a few months since that whole thing went down, but I feel like it's almost a cop-out for them, and it's another way that they're going to get out of this.
Well, they can bully their way out of it. They can just pay their way out of it.
Pay their way out of it. Yeah. Like send me a $3,000 letter, and I can't do anything about it. A lot of times I am demonetized on YouTube. It's been just a hobby for me. Yeah. I don't know. I end up saying a word, or like something's wrong with my channel. I've been trying to get creator support like for a long time, but like I don't.
Okay.
Like this isn't something I'm like, oh, I'm money hungry. I need to tear the LeBrants down so I can get a good paycheck. It just doesn't work out for me like that. It's a lot of like, what drives my passion on YouTube is just having that connection with my subscribers. I know it's very bad, but like I text them.
Good for you.
Talk to them as, like some of them, not all of them, but like people who have been with me since day one. I've built such great connections with them. And I almost feel like there are people who I respect and I want to please, and like a lot of the times when I break down online or I do get emotional, it's
Yep.
because I feel like I disappointed these people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's not like, oh, people are unsubscribing, I'm not gonna get paid. It's like, oh, these people who like were rooting for me are now disappointed in me,
I see.
and while I feel like I didn't do, like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong, but you need to just understand other people's, perspectives. So,
Okay, so like let's reverse up to the LeBrant situation, because I didn't really know what's going on with them. If you're allowed to talk about it, because
I am.
Okay, so like you dropped this video, I watched it. I was unaware of the LeBrants. Something tells me that they're fundamental Christians, based on your video, and
Fake
maybe
Christians.
yeah. Well, and if you've watched any videos of mine, I'm an ex-pastor, so I know the world of fake Christians. Okay, because I lived it for years. Okay, I literally cannot stand the church, and I cannot stand religion. And I think that this movement of post-Christian, of people like myself and buddies of mine and friends of mine who are like-minded, are the real Christians. They're the ones who love people no matter what. They're the ones who don't talk about people in a negative way and say, you can't do this, you can't be who you are, you can't do this, you can't whatever. This is being shifted. And so we'll go back to that in a second, but this is being shifted huge. And so we're seeing the deconstruction right now of church. And I couldn't be happier. And I will be a part of that. But let's go back to LeBrant. So you came up with this video, and as far as I could tell, most of it's truth, because you're just covering their tweets. You're just covering the things that they've said online. So why were you forced to apologize?
I wasn't forced to apologize. I just, like, so their son is currently in an ICU, and whenever I knew that going into the video, I talked about it in the video. It's honestly, it was really just a mistake on my end with the timing, because when I was a baby, I was in ICU, and like for some reason I'm just desensitized to that word, I guess, or I just like, what the child is suffering with isn't something he's going to, pass on from. So I just didn't really think that it was that big of a deal to me. I thought it was more wrong that they were focused on getting that next the NICU vlog out on their child. To me, it's like, okay, this kid already has 2 videos out about himself, the third one about him in ICU, fourth one on like his name, and I get it, this is their business, this is their industry, but I felt like I needed to apologize to certain people who are those OG fans, and they were like, I'm disappointed in you because I asked you for this video for months, yet you did it literally the worst time.
I see.
The day they announced, the day after they announced their son is in ICU. So bad timing on my part.
If I'm hearing this correctly, they didn't reach out to you and say, take this down, you jackass. They just like, it's your fans who said bad timing. So you've got something here. You're truthful, but what you're doing is you're saying, you know what, you guys, you're right. And here's why you stand out to me. There's this thing called humility, which hardly anybody has anymore in this day and age. And you're a young dude, which is really cool, by the way. To have humility to say something, you're like, you guys, you're right. Honestly, this is what's going to separate you from the pack for the rest of your life. And I hope you never change who you are that way, because humility is one of the most important things of being a human, okay? If you can show no humility, or that I was wrong in some way, then you're not going to have anybody in the end, okay? You're going to die a lonely person. Myka and James, zero humility. The only time they had humility is when
or empathy.
Exactly.
Empathy is so important. Like, I feel like I empathize with that family. Like, before I just went on live yesterday to talk to people, and sometimes that's the way I find closure, is just to get online and be vulnerable and to show you guys I'm very human. The people I talk about, they make mistakes, but I also make mistakes too. And I feel like my YouTube channel is my safe space. It's where I go when I'm lonely, or when I'm sad, or anxiety and depression. So I just felt like it was the best thing for me to do. It wasn't like they reached out to me. I feel like I'm just so small, they wouldn't even bother to reach out to me. But, I guess you can't really be surprised, because certain people have reached out to me, and I'm like, whoa, I did not expect that. If
you can allow to talk to me, how do they reach out to you? Through an email? Do they call you? Do they reach out to, is it scary? Does your heart sink? Is it anxiety inducing? Is it what's it like?
It's debilitating. When I got that one cease and desist, at first I laughed, because I was like, wait, what is going on? Because I just don't while I take my stories very seriously, and I take what I talk about very seriously, I just don't take myself very seriously. Right. So I think that's, sometimes people can make fun of me or do whatever. I've heard it all. So I'm so numb to it. And when I saw that letter, at first I was like, wait, me? They're worried about me. And, I was first really shocked, then I was really worried, really scared, and then I messaged them back. I told them I'll take it down and I'm cooperating, and they emailed me back pretty quickly and was like, okay, take down this one highlight on your Instagram story, because they went through everything. They went through every single one of my social medias, my highlights on my Instagram. So they made me remove a story where I mentioned them, and ever since then I've had no problems. So I just think that in this situation, I don't feel like I've lost. I feel like I almost won, because the people who saw that video and the people who are woken up to this family can see that they are wrong, and they're just trying to cover up their past. They did a BS article online where they just tried to explain some of the things that I called them out on. And when I read that, I was just laughing, because I feel like at the end of the day, people know the truth, and I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to spread the truth and to call them out on some things they were doing, because it was wrong. It was so wrong. Like, you cannot. Have you
seen any of my videos on 8 Passengers? Because maybe without you being able to talk about it, but I talk about them a lot. I'm okay with talking about them. I have not received a letter, and I talk about Ruby Frank and how like, I don't dig super deep, but I dig a little bit deep. And I'm wondering why you got this letter. I'm not. Here's what my theory is, and I hope this is right, because if this is true, this is great. Why didn't they just copyright strike you on YouTube? Did they?
No.
Why so?
I was just copyright strike, though, by Love Meg. I want to put that out there. So, Love Meg. Thanks for copywriting me.
I don't get if it's a fair use policy, why don't you just fight the copyright strike? Because if you're using fair use, then YouTube they'll come back and say you're right. Right? No? Is that right?
True. Should I hit dispute?
Yeah,
like,
always hit dispute.
Maybe I should hit the dispute button.
As long as you know that you're using fair use, you can't. And you say, look, as far as I'm concerned, I'm using fair use based on your YouTube policy here. Highlight it, drop it in the dispute, dispute it every time. What do you have to lose? You're already demonetized for half this video. But here's why I think haven't received something from Myka or from 8 Passengers, and I'm gonna dig more into 8 Passengers now that you said that, because now I'm lit up. I'm ready. Because I'm Canadian, dude. So what are they going to do?
Well, no, exactly. Actually, I think that's a good point. I actually, with that family, I worked with someone in Canada, just like some guy who really helped me dig up everything on them. And we had that conversation. I think that was like, because he was also someone who was putting a lot on Instagram, and these people, they will contact you through YouTube, email, but they'll also contact you through Instagram. If you're putting stuff on Twitter, like, you can get a cease and desist through any platform. So
I didn't know that.
I do think that the Canada might be helping you. I have no idea. I actually, I was almost in trouble with the country of, oh my gosh, I cannot even remember the name.
This is awesome.
But I did
I was almost in trouble with some country somewhere.
Yeah, it's in St. Vincent.
Okay.
I was almost in trouble with St. Vincent because I pretty much called out their prime minister in a video, and it went viral in St. Vincent. If you look at my my viewers, you'll see a percentage, a high percentage of the Caribbean have watched my video because I made a video about their prime minister in its election year, and now all of these organizations are using my video against their prime minister as propaganda. Yeah, I had multiple charities reaching out to me being like, can we have you as a spokesperson on here? Can you make another video? And it was actually so terrifying because I'm not usually on Twitter, but I got 1,000 tweets from all these people. I guess everyone on the island.
I need to know about this Twitter, person. What did this guy do? Tell me everything.
Okay.
Dish? Okay, well, it's tea time.
So there is a model named Jahada, and she was on Caribbean's Next Top Model. And pretty much she got famous on the show, and when she went back to St. Vincent, she was popular, and she's a model, and she's beautiful. So the prime minister there is very religious. He has a wife. Anyways, he was having an affair with her for several years, and he wanted to have an affair or a moment. See, I'm very sensitive on so I don't know what I can say, but you want to have a three-way with him, his wife, and Jahada, the model, and pretty much the model went off on him. After that, he put her in a mental institution for 2 weeks and highly drugged her. So then when she went in court to appear for her charges were calling the wife a dirty bitch, pretty much. And she was charged by the government for that. And then she was drugged, and she's literally I don't like to call people crazy because I don't think she's crazy. I think she's been taken advantage of. Yeah. But if you go watch her videos on Twitter or whatever, she posts raps, and they're mostly a cappella, but the stories are insane. She's very, very dirty when it comes to her rapping. And I wanted to tell her story because she's getting really famous as a rapper named Jahada online. Her real name's Yogi. That was her model name. And I made the video mostly just trying to bring up awareness around Jahada's story and what happened to her. But it really was flipped into something that was used as like political gain for the people in St. Vincent fighting the prime minister and his son, because they both run power.
Yep.
So,
is this election still going on? Did he get reelected?
It's still happening, and he hasn't been reelected yet, but there is so much corruption in that country in general that I feel like he might win anyways. I don't know. I just like went on Facebook and went on like these platforms, and all these people were talking about me in that video, and it was honestly pretty scary because a lot of people were like, the government's going to come for you. Like, our leader is going to find you. You will not get away with this. But it's been like 4 months since, so I'm still chilling and the video's still up.
Tell me you live in a state where you can carry a gun.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, that's why it made me think of, you're in Canada and maybe you can't get in trouble by these people. And I feel like I thought I was going to get in trouble at first by these people in St. Vincent, but I don't think they can get me here.
No, I think you're protected. The U.S. will. Here's the thing. Like, especially, you might not like Trump right now, but he'd be your biggest ally protecting your free speech against what you're about to say. So leave that as it is.
Yeah.
But dang it, now I'm going to dive into that story because so let me tell you something. If there's something you're not allowed to talk about, send it my way, and I will talk about it because I don't care.
Okay.
I'm if I'm protected by the border, then there's something here, right? I'm not sure if I am. I'm actually going to do a video now that's going to try to get 8 passengers after me. I'm ready to take it on, and I'm pissed for you. I'm pissed because they took advantage of their wealth and just sent a lawyer after you, because in the end, if you didn't desist, what are they going to sue you for? If you're suing you for slander by using their videos and talking about content, wouldn't you be protected anyway?
Yeah, it's like, I feel like they were pretty much going to take me to court for calling them creepy, and that's all I took away from the video, is the fact that I called them creepy, and that's
Well, they are creepy.
And I think that's fine to say, but yeah, it's very creepy, and I would love to send
just your
you those
opinion.
things.
You're allowed to have that opinion. You're not stating a fact that says, well, because I'm saying it, then they are to the world. If you're not allowed to call someone creepy, then your free speech is gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I feel like they definitely took advantage of the situation. And it happened literally the day that I was going to drop one of the biggest videos I was going to on them. And I feel like it was just fate. And I was going to also drag their sister. There's actually, we'll talk on email because it's not only this family. They've also got multiple. There's, because the mother has a sister, and then the sister has a channel, and that channel, I already have so many clips. I don't know if you get these ever, but I have this one weird email address. You brought up that makeup video earlier, and I have multiple emails from them. I have some I haven't even opened yet, and they're all old videos of Myka that they want me to review.
I get them too.
And I don't know who this, I'm like, I don't know who you are. You never send any message with it, but you just send me the video file, and I'm like, if you guys want me to talk about it, like, everything I put on my channel is driven by people, pretty much requesting it, or if I come across it and I'm passionate about it. So
okay, here's my tinfoil hat conjecture. What if it's like the Stauffers loving the attention that they're getting, because in the end, it raises, like, maybe they've talked to somebody who's a professional in this industry, says, look, if you're now the villains, be the effing villains. And if you can make money being the villain, like, there are so many villains on YouTube, by the way. Like, I don't know the whole, as far as I'm looking at these Dawson and all the makeup guys, this drama that's going on, there are a lot of villains in that world, right? Am I right?
Yeah, J-Star.
Okay, so there's villains, and they make their money being a villain. Literally, they're probably not like that in real life, right?
Yeah, but I think J-Star, like, he's totally the villain. He's definitely entertaining, but I think he can thrive as the villain. I don't know if Myka can, because like you said, she's so narcissistic and she thinks so highly of herself that I feel like certain people like Jeffrey can accept being the villain and he can live for it. But like, Myka is so full of herself. She thinks she's an amazing person. Like, she literally thinks so highly of herself, and I don't think she will ever accept herself as the villain. As the villain in this situation. She actually is the victim, and she's acting like she's the victim. And you saw the police investigation where she like tore Huxley and like claimed that all these horrible things he was doing. I don't know. I just think she will play the victim card and will try to save herself someday.
You've got a good point there, and I think you hit the nail right in the head. She's not going to play. She can't be the evil witch, because evil witches are ugly, and she's like, have you seen this face? There's no way that I'm.
I think James is a different animal. I think that he low key doesn't mind being the villain, especially because he just keeps posting videos. And thankfully you made that one channel to like kind of direct some of the views away.
Spite channel.
I feel like I feel like he's a villain in this situation, and he might like continue it without blinking an eye.
This is a perfect segue, because the hate channel we created, Disaster Detailing, was to, in the end, to do something that was like, let's take away views from Stauffer Garage, because there's no way that you and I believe both this, and I think all of our followers, most of them anyway, except for the 5 that are always in our comment section who are Myka friends, do not think that they should be able to use this platform anymore. Like, if YouTube's not going to do anything about it, then it's on us to feed the justice. This is the way the world works right now. And look, I'm not about cancel culture to a high level, right? If I've been wronged, I definitely want to see something happen. These are the one family that I think people who, you'll see this comment a lot. I hate cancel culture, but these people need to be canceled.
Yeah, I think like at this time, like people don't like Karens, but we're allowed to Karen up for Huxley because he deserves the justice, and he deserves to, I don't know, I feel like we still don't know we literally don't know where he is or if he's okay, and I don't think we need to spell it all out where he exactly is, but we need a what are they called when the police come and check up on you to see if you're
welfare check?
We need a nice welfare check, like a nice one that wasn't at the attorney's office, that also maybe explains what's going on with his citizenship and his adoption status and things like that. It's all so dirty. I can't even.
What pisses me off the most about this whole situation is that it seems like CPS and all these people, they're all tied. They're all tied. Their hands are all tied. They've done what they can. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping his new family, if he has one, which I'm hoping, I hope, are amazing. And I hope that they change his name. And I hope that in the future, when Mike and James truly are canceled, I'm taking off my videos. I don't want this out there. I know it's going to be in Billy or whatever, but I'm hoping when he gets older and has a great life after this, that he just can live a normal life. I'm hoping. But we cannot ever forget what Myka and James did. And people are starting to forget, and that's why I will not relent. I'm not going to relent until they actually come out and say, we're done on this platform, leave us alone. That's it. That's what I want.
Yeah, and I totally agree. It's important to remove those videos later on. I feel like sometimes people who are monetization is such a crazy animal to me, because I feel like it can drive success, and it also provides creators and people who are, creative and can't really, can really do well on this platform an opportunity to make a job and make a living. But it also can drive the evil, which is rooted in money. And I think that these people and other channels are rooted in evil, and they would keep those stories up no matter what, or will refuse to remove videos. But I agree with you. I would love to remove my content once everything is cleared up and that we know that these people aren't coming back, because it's important to understand what Huxley's going through, to empathize with the situation, and to just, I don't know, stay morally clean. Like
you're being a human, and again, this is why YouTube needs more of people like you, right? Where we are saying that the future of YouTube might be a more euphoric place. Let's make it more about collaboration and we never stop calling out the dirty messes out there that are hurting other people, right? If there's somebody hurting someone else, call it out. But let's also celebrate the beautiful. Like, why not, right? Like, let's get people to be like, I know so many people want the tea. Like, I know it. The people are telling me we want the tea. I get it. But man, I hope that this has, the Myka Stauffer situation and the 8 passengers has started a shift. There's already a bunch of vloggers, I think, are already taking their kids off the platform. They're already like, no, let's take them off. It's a good start. But let's lobby YouTube in the end to say, look, you can't use a kid unless they have this. Like, they did it for child actors, right? They have that, whatever it's called, protects them from their parents stealing all their money. They're actors. These are all actors. This is the same thing. And you're right. YouTube maybe people need to like become a union. Can you imagine?
And you brought up those 2 families, but this is just a PSA out there. Those are 2 of them. There's also the Ace family. There are several channels. And as long as I've got a working camera, I am going to continue talking about them. Good for you. And as long as people are requesting it, I'll be talking about it. So while it's just those 2 right now, if these other family channels don't get the message now, they will get it sooner than later.
Good for you, dude. I'm very pumped about what you just said there. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but okay, you got this juicy video you wanted to drop, and I here's the thing that pisses me off. They have wealth, and so they have a lawyer, probably on retainer, who writes these letters, who scares the shit out of people. Like, it just scares the shit out of people, and they know it does. But I almost want to figure out what will happen. And I know I don't want to use you as my guinea pig because it sounds bad, but like, just see what happens. Take him to court then, because, or ask a lawyer. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe for Sloan that gets him enough money to go speak to a lawyer for a few hours to say, how can I do all this legally? Maybe there's a place to say, well, hey, I talked to a lawyer. Let's do this. If you know that you're protected, then dude, you should be able to use YouTube's fair use policies, as long as you're not telling people and doxing people and telling them to hurt them or whatever it is that you're not supposed to be doing. I cannot see with what you're doing is your take on the reality that they're putting out in the world. And if they're saying it's not real, then put out a real video about the reality of what your life is, because right now you're giving us bullshit.
Are you aware with the whole cease and desist situation? Because I was the first one to get one.
Not really.
And then Katie Ball, and then Ready to Glare, and then I don't want to speak on this too much because Dennis asked me not to, but Dennis did too. And he's pretty powerful here, and he's got some pretty powerful lawyers. And I was in an email chain pretty much with all these creators, and they've had people review their letters, and they've had people look into the firm that they use in LA, and like not even these commentary channels with like 500,000 subscribers want to take it on, because this is a really powerful firm they're working with. So it's just kind of scary.
So they have a good reputation of taking people down.
At first I was like, I was cooperating right away. I emailed pretty much an hour back and I was like, okay, I will take it down. But I was talking to some of these other creators, and they went and talked to several lawyers about it, and they were advised not to even challenge the firm. So I think it's almost like you said, they have a retainer, and it's probably just like a celebrity firm almost that's super powerful. And not bucks. Even these big guys here on YouTube want to take them on. So while I'd love to call them out, like I just, it does scare me though, because they, in their letter, it wasn't like friendly at all. It was very scary. Like the wording was not professional at all. It's very, it will be millions of dollars. Like you will, there's a saying like, persist at your own peril. I think that was the worst, like the last thing it said, like something so cryptic. And I was like, okay, I will not, like, obviously they are so corrupt that they are going to cover this no matter what and try to protect their brand. So I'm just going to let them do that and save myself, because well, they saw what happened to Stauffers and they realized this is our gravy train. Yeah. We can't stop this and they'll pay if we have to pay $100,000 to a lawyer to save our $1 million nest egg. We're going to protect it. And their families are all pitching in. Plus the dad's got wealth. That's Dennis. He took them down too. And he asked me not to talk about it, so that's why I'm getting kind of weird. But
I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, it's kind of old news. He was just like, I think he was challenging it, and that's why he didn't want me to talk about it. I don't know if it's really old news, anyways. Okay. But he's the one that had people look at it, and he was like, nah, like let's retreat. I don't know if his videos are still. I feel like I saw a video still up. I don't really know. Maybe he worked out a deal with them, but he's like up there, and I was like, okay, if he's gonna like retreat or whatever, I'm gonna run. Yeah,
I gotta talk to Def Noodles. I love that guy.
He's so supportive of other people. And another thing too is like people think YouTube is competitive. I guess it's competitive. I've just like I am not a competitive type at all. So I just like kind of just do what I want, I feel like. But there are some commentary channels I feel like are super competitive, and Dennis is just not one of those. He's very friendly. He's always been really supportive. So I really appreciate him. And
I feel like if I have a protection here of a border, then I'm ready to take it on. If you guys want to feed me all of it, and I'll put it out there, I don't really care. Like 8 passengers pisses me off, because not only am I coming from the world of ex-pastor and religion and fundamentalism, okay, like their kids for the rest of their lives are going to have everything online forever about their periods and their shaving their legs and their sex talks and their zits and everything else. And Ruby Frank, if you're watching this, I'm about to fire it up. Sloan, you got me fired up, buddy. I'm sorry.
But their son really does deserve better. He's an awesome kid, and he you can really see through the vlogs that they have quality children. So it would be nice if they were treated, with respect.
I hope that they eventually hope that they see this as their daughters and sons get older, that they're like, look, this. I hope that they're like, hey, we're done with this, because their nest egg will be over when their kids are gone. Because who wants to listen to Ruby Frank pick at her fake eyelashes and talk about how awesome of a mom she is? Okay, it's not gonna happen. Like, let's get into like you a little bit more. I know we talked about the good stuff that we've been all covering, and it's really interesting. And I feel like we could talk for hours. Like, I feel like we need to do like a monthly segment where we just dish and bring on anybody who can dish. But
yeah,
tell me more about you. Like, what do you do? What do you do when you're not on YouTube? Like, tell me about Sloan. And sorry, am I allowed to ask what your real name is?
My real name is Sloan.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my parody video where I was in the mirror and I was like, and Stauffer, because you have the number 4 in your name.
Yeah.
And I wasn't making fun of you, but I was making fun of Myka making fun of you. Anyway, so good. Your name is Sloan. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was a moniker, but that's awesome. There's a t-shirt that we came up. Every video, any interview I have to do, come up with a t-shirt. You had a t-shirt. And it was just about, I forgot about what you said. You said something was, let's get Karen for Huxley or something like that. What was the word you said? Sometimes we need to be Karens.
Yeah. Like
okay, that's okay. I'm gonna design that shirt.
Like I'm gonna square up, but I'm gonna Karen up. Yeah.
And I'll put the haircut in, and we'll have like a thing be Karen up for justice. That's your shirt. I'm gonna design it. You send it. Put it in your Teespring. You sell it.
Oh my god.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about you. Like, explain to me like your life. Like, who is Sloan? So people who are interested, who don't know you on my channel. By the way, if you don't know who Sloan is, go subscribe right now. His link's below. Please. Like, this guy is legit. But tell me about you.
Yeah, well, I'm college educated. I studied psychology, so I feel like sometimes when I talk about certain stories, I feel like I can relate a lot of that to what I've learned just before and just how people process and they think. When I'm not doing YouTube, though, I'm pretty creative and I love like just doing home things, like whether it's like painting a table or like I was just painting a glass jar with like baking soda and acrylic paint, and you can like paint something that's glass and make it look like it's pottery. And I just do like, I'm actually crocheting. I'm going to the beach next week and I'm trying to crochet a koozie for, have you ever had the tall boys? So they've got like the little white cloths, but then they've got the big ones. I want a big koozie just like that.
These ones.
Yep. So I'm crocheting something like that. I do pretty boring things. Yeah. I mean, if I could be doing something for YouTube, I'm pretty much doing it. And I feel like a lot of times when you do commentary videos, it takes a lot of time. Like you can't just learn about a person and speak on them like in one day. Like I've done it before and I've gotten in trouble for it. Like when I did my Brittany and Baby video, I literally spent 3 hours just learning as much as I can about them. And then I just went online and I dragged her. And that was the whole thing because she actually DM'd me multiple times on Instagram. She posted on her story. Yeah. The problems with her, like there are several problems with her. She does a lot of like scams on her channel. Also, do you know who Mo Othman is? Okay, Mo Othman. If you guys don't know who he is, you guys should know who he is. He has almost 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he has scammed so many people out of thousands and thousands of dollars. Pretty much, he created a Patreon page where he claimed that he was donating money that was going to Patreon to a well foundation that builds wells in Africa. I have spoken to the charity. I've talked to so many representatives there. They don't know who Mo Othman is. What he's claiming they're doing by building wells in Africa is not actually happening. When it comes to this charity, when it comes to this charity alone, only like 1% of their projects involves building wells. A lot of times building wells like just isn't the greatest move when you're trying to provide people water. You want to do irrigation systems and things like that. I actually learned a lot about charity and water through this whole story, but he is a scammer and he's someone I think needs to be called out and that people need to know his name because I've made videos about him. They don't really go anywhere. He's claimed he's suing me before. I've never gotten a letter. That happened like 6 months ago. And this guy just sucks. He had a Patreon where he was taking money from his subscribers, claiming he was donating them to this charity. He put screenshots up of the receipt from the charity and they were actually reverse searched and you could find them online. Everything he's done is a complete scam and lie. And you could watch in my video. I actually have a conversation with the charity.
I will watch.
I did a whole, I recorded the conversation with the charity. I talked to them about that and I called them out on scams. And that's pretty much what I did to Brittany and Baby. The problem with Brittany and Baby is I also called her out on she's pretty much pregnant and she has a disorder that is passed down through like men. So even though she's a female, she can have it and her daughters can have it. And when they have male children, they will have it. And it's muscular dystrophy. So I kind of called her out on that for having another kid when she has this disorder. And that was so wrong for me because one, who is like, why am I, a man, trying to tell a woman what to do with her body? Like, why am I telling her, oh, you're not supposed to have a kid because you have a disorder? And then two, I just didn't really understand like how the disorder works. I mean, it's like 75% chance the son, if they have a son, she's pregnant right now. She's not telling anyone the gender, which is weird because she's had several kids. She would always tell them the gender by now. So people think she's having a boy. And the reason she's not telling is because fans are upset over this whole muscular dystrophy thing.
Right.
I was wrong for calling her out on that specifically. And actually Katie Ball, like, you know, got me in trouble for that too. So, that was a rough video. Brittany and Baby was a rough video. I don't know where I am with this whole story, but yeah, Brittany and Baby, am I sorry? Not really, because she tried to reach out to me and she was so nice, like fake nice, whereas she's like, oh, like, why didn't you ask me? Like anything I would have replied to her would have been flipped and would have been just put on blast. So I ignored her, and then she ended up putting her messages on her story and tagging me and trying to send all this hate and stuff like that. And honestly, it was kind of backfiring to her because a lot of her subscribers saw what I was talking about and was like, oh, like, I didn't realize she's been scamming people, or that she has been, you know, trying to get people into an MLM, you know, a pyramid scheme.
Oh,
so,
hate MLMs.
Me
hate
too.
them.
Me too.
Hate them. Oh. Well, let's talk about a little bit something that we kind of both deal with, YouTubers in general deal with. Haters. Mm-hmm. Why? Like, maybe I get why. Like, I'm not saying haters are people who said that you should apologize to their brands for what you said at the timing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. The haters. I'm like talking about the haters.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because as a new YouTuber guy, like when someone says something bad about me or negative about me or my family, like if you talk about my family, don't. Okay, you can talk about me all you want, and I will hear it. But like, how do you deal with that? Like, what do you do to deal with that kind of stuff?
Well, you know, I have like 3,000 unpublished comments because they are held for review, and I, one, don't look at them, but two, I grew up in the country and I was bullied so hard for my sexuality. I came out at 15 years old in literally the middle of nowhere, Higgstown. My teachers called me derogatory terms. Like I was
your teachers did.
Oh yeah. I was like, when I tried to do my driving test, I was called the F word so many times, and he ended up just failing me every time. I had to have someone else go and do my driving test. Usually the PE teachers would do them, but I had to have a history teacher do it. And as soon as I did it with him, I passed. So this guy just did not like me.
Wow.
I grew up in I'm still in a very conservative family, and I'm in a very conservative area. So I've kind of grown a thick skin, and I feel like a lot of the times the haters just come for my sexuality because it's an easy target. A lot of times they're just like, you gay, you sound gay, you look gay, and I'm just like, like, wow, like if they actually were coming for my personality or my character, I might be bothered. But every single time it's either my appearance or my sexuality, or they just
What's wrong with your appearance?
I know.
So you have the best lettuce I've ever seen. You have the best. I wish I had your lettuce. The lettuce is beautiful.
Yeah, like I don't really pay too much mind to them, but I definitely like get emotionally affected. I don't like to reply because I find myself typing it out, and this happens every single day. It's a battle every single day. Typing out a message, like a reply to a comment, and then just deleting it and being like, oh, it's not worth it. So I'm trying to get better at just ignoring them. But I also definitely do consider some of it, and I do try to make changes sometimes. Well,
if it's constructive, right? That's different than hate, right? Constructive criticism is like you saying like the type of guy that if someone give you true constructive criticism, you're taking it and you're like, okay, thanks. Whereas someone is going to hate you, just like tell them F off. Oh, I'll come beat them up for you.
Yeah,
whatever.
No,
I got your back.
Yeah, and I'm like, these people online are determined and motivated, and I think like not feeding into it is a great way to go about it, because I was recently doxxed online, and the Twitter account's still there. I was able to get all the tweets gone, but they haven't tried me since. They actually got my tax return. So they got my tax return. They know everything about me. Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Like people, like I don't know who these people are. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they released a ton about me, and I just didn't really feed into it at all. I just got all my friends to report it, and that was really scary. That actually happened 1 week ago.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm still learning on how to deal with it. I feel like I've never considered myself like a creator or any type of public figure. So to like kind of have people treat me like one is just weird to me in general. And for them to come for me like I'm one, I'm just like, wait, bro, like I'm such a normal person. Why are you DMing my mom on Instagram? Like I've got people who are reaching out to my parents and reaching out to my family, saying a bunch of crap, but I'm kind of numb to it at this point.
Well, let's go back to you're living in a conservative town.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents are probably ultra conservative. You said they were Trump supporters.
Very.
From what are they churchgoers?
Not at all.
Okay, but conservative regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And when you came out at 15, are your parents at least supportive of your lifestyle?
Mm-hmm. So, well, my dad was really supportive because his brother was, and he was able to just, I guess, get through that. My mom wasn't. She was like, okay, well, you can never get married, you know that. And my dad actually argued with her about that. And I mean, this all went down when I was 15. So it's been a while. And ever since then, she's become way more supportive. My parents are really supportive, actually, just with my YouTube and with everything, with my boyfriends. And I've been dating guys since I was 15. So they've brought them on vacations with us and things like that. So I'm thankful that they're supportive when it comes to that. Luckily, the whole Trump side does not affect any of that. But yeah, it is tough being in a conservative area just because I think about the fact that I've been dating my boyfriend currently for 4 years, and the only time we ever can hold hands is whenever we're in Miami or Hawaii. But other than that, there's nowhere we feel safe.
Still to this day, you're telling me to this day you still get ostracized in America for being gay. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I can't believe that's crazy.
More 5 years from now, probably still. I can't imagine ever even.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no PDA when it comes to my life, and that does hurt because I've gone to Miami and Hawaii, and I feel safe, and it's such a different environment because I live in an area where you might consider it pretty northern, but it's still so. Yeah, it's so hated on. I mean, even New York City, maybe I would feel safe, but I wouldn't feel safe anywhere in the United States besides maybe New York City, Miami, and Hawaii, because everywhere
California
else, maybe, but California is also very big and it's very diverse. So if you're in the wrong part of LA or something, I would not feel safe. I was in Calabasas and I didn't feel safe there, and that's a pretty nice area. So yeah, it's still really. It's also just my own. Okay. Yeah, it's also my own just demons trying to stop me from, living my best life because I've had so many people just attack me for it. So it's a battle, and I hope one day I can live in an area where I can peacefully walk outside and not feel worried, or be able to hold my boyfriend's hand or give him a kiss in public or something. But it's made me stronger, and I guess it's made me more appropriate for certain people. I feel like I always try my best to please everyone around me. So when it comes to conservatives or people like that, I'm really good at just putting my straight face on and getting through it, which is obviously not ideal, but it's still it's just what I've been raised around.
Seriously, shouldn't have to do that. And so I asked BX this question. So let's get into the lighter side of stuff. And it's not that I don't want to diminish what you're saying.
No,
you're
it's really important. Let's move on.
But I want to YouTube pops for you. Okay, you're going to get bigger, and I know you will, and I will be there to support you. Something happens, you get big, you do it positively, you do it right, you get big, you make a lot of money. Where are you moving? Where are you going to end up if you had your choice right now? You win the lottery, you have to give half to your government. In Canada, we don't. But you win the lottery, where are you going right now?
I would probably go to Hawaii, just because I love Hawaii. I've been there several times. I actually have more friends in Hawaii than I do here, so I would have a friend group already there waiting for me.
Okay.
It just makes me scared to go so far away from my family because I'm on the East Coast in the U.S., so it's a solid 10-hour ride out there. But that would be such an ideal place, and I just feel I'm so much healthier there. I don't know.
I feel like I can envision you in a little hut, a nice little single house, 2-bedroom in Hawaii on the ocean, doing your vlogs on the patio, and I think I want that for you. But I really I hear what you're saying. I've never been to Hawaii. There's a bunch of my fans. I call them fans because I don't know what else to call these people. I can't believe I have fans. But they're come to Hawaii. We Jeff and I are gonna pop through with a band. We want to do this tour of the U.S. once COVID is over. We want to do firesides with everybody. Bring on as many creators as we can to do this little tour. This YouTube creator tour. And I'm gonna ask you here, man. Are you in? Are you in with us to come out and tour with us?
I would totally do a tour. Yeah, and I'm
Can you sing?
Can I sing? No, but I'll figure it out. I don't know. I've always wanted to sing.
Can you rap? Can you do something?
Oh, I can do something. In my heart and in my soul, I feel like I am a performer because I am quite shy. But when it comes to being in public or just having to put on a face, I just can do that, and I've always been able to do that. I have an acting background. When I was a child, I just grew up in acting school, so I just know. Parts of me I wish I could be an actor one day, but I feel like YouTube almost is acting. It's just like I don't need to put on a role. It's just my own space.
I love it, dude. I mean, so when we come through, like, I hope to have you on the show, and I'd love to come on your show so you can, you know, have my video on your show. I'd love to just collaborate a lot. I honestly, man, I could talk to you about, if I think I might reach out to you when I need another opinion or need to bounce some ideas off about a certain topic. Like if I get into another channel where like Ace or whatever, I'd love to just collaborate with you on those and like bounce it. And if we do come on the road, and we are going to come on the road, I'm doing this because I used to be in a band and I toured and I miss it. And I want to do it again, but I want to do like a YouTuber tour where we're going around, we're meeting people, we're having dinner, we're having fireside, we're sitting at the beach, we're just it's low key chill with people who have huge properties, right? We're going to do backyard concerts and just chats. Like I think it's going to be fun. Like a couple of weeks on the road, bring your boyfriend, let's have some party, take some selfies, let's have some fun. Like I think it would be so much fun and freeing. I think meeting our fans, meeting people who want to hang out with us could just be really fun for them and for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, so many of them are my friends.
What's that beside your shoulder there? I see something behind your shoulder there. Just on the wall. It's like a bug or something. Just look.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. What is that?
I did that to BX too. My daughter. Okay, I just have a question for you. How many Jeffree stars do you give this 1 to 10 Jeffree stars, this makeup tutorial doll?
I mean, the eyeshadow is very pigmented. The lips are nicely smudged, and the hair is on fleek, I guess. So we'll give her a 12 out of 20.
Nice. My daughter Everly thanks you for that. For that. This girl's coming on tour with us. So just so you know. Sloan, it's been an hour, and I feel like we could go for hours and hours and hours. So I want to save some for later. But like, I'm going to ask this too for all the creators. For everybody watching the show who wants to be a YouTube creator or commentary or whatever it is, what kind of advice do you give based on your level right now?
My advice would just be to be authentic and definitely talk about things you are passionate about. If you don't care about Britney Spears, don't make a hashtag Free Britney video. If you don't care about the Huxley situation, which if you don't care about that, I don't know how you're human, then just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I think like having passion and having drive in yourself and being an individual person and having certain interests are so desirable, and to make videos and content that maybe like doesn't follow the rest of the pack. Like I'm not over here doing everything that T-Sesh is doing or, Spill or everything like that. Like sometimes I stay out of the makeup commentary. Sometimes I just don't care. And I think it's important to talk about things you do care about, because when you don't care about them, it's obvious. People can see. And it comes
across. Yeah, they see it.
Yeah. And I think it's also good to reflect before you make a video. Think about what you want to talk about and what other people would like to hear, because I think half of making a video is making it relatable. No one's going to want to watch you if you're not relatable, and if people can't understand where you're coming from or what you're saying. A lot of the times people want to watch other people say things they agree with and say things they understand. A lot of the times on TV, I feel like I can like predict what the next person is going to talk about, because it's just like kind of obvious. And I think having that understanding and that rhythm with your viewers is really important. And that comes out of being authentic and being genuine. I've made videos for a long time where I just did random things, random skits, and it wasn't authentic and it wasn't driven with passion. So ever since I found the Liam Ray, I got into the Liam Ray Johnson story, and I started talking about family channels and things like that, I have become more passionate about certain things that were inside of me, but I didn't even know were there. So I think going with what you know and what you like is important, and also using your experiences to your advantage, because while I like my psychology degree is great, like sometimes people don't know how to use their degree. And I feel like even here, I use my degree, I think about what I've learned, and it's important to reflect on that so that other people can see where you're coming from and see who you are through the screen. Yeah,
good. And I think that's kind of what draws me to you, is that your authenticity is just, and I think a lot of your fans say the same thing. They just love your passion, your authenticity, and you speak from the heart. I mean, and I mean, just the fact that you've apologized, I don't necessarily think that means that you're wrong. I just think that that means you're human and that you have humility, and like you should be celebrated for that, okay? Because how hard is it for people to apologize? And Myka and James haven't apologized. They apologized to their fans. They didn't apologize to H. They apologized to their fans for being called out. So it's another thing. We're gonna be doing this again for sure. I like, dude, what a great video. Everybody follow Sloan right now at this moment. Check him out, and just make sure you watch all his commercials. Do everything. Get this guy some. He doesn't need it, but put some money in his pocket so he can come on the road with us, because we got to eat Chick-fil-A every day, and it's gonna
be awesome. And it's like, you got to keep in mind, I do want to remind some of these commentary channels with over 100K that just because you're on YouTube and you have over 100,000 subscribers or even 200,000, you are not famous. You are still a human. You are able to, use your platform for good, and you should, but you should also stay humble and try to improve. That's
good advice. Just be humble. Like, you know what? Humility is important. People love people who are humble. Well, let's exit this video now because it's like super long. We'll chat for a few minutes before I start editing this. Man, Sloan, thanks for coming on the channel, dude. It's been a pleasure. Like, what a great dude you are, and I can't wait to continue this.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to watch this video over again and just collaborate in the future. This is my first collaboration, so let's do it. Let's create a community of solid people with morals on YouTube.
Love it, dude. All right, like and subscribe. Hit the little bell on both our channels, or don't. Whatever, we don't care. You are our therapy. That's what I say to my people, Sloan. They're my therapy. Talking to people, even if it's on a camera, is therapy, and that love it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, 100%.